You're listening to the Fox Den Sports Podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Todd and his three sons, Kellen, Garrett, and Gannon.
We're back. Along with my sons, Kellen and Garrett, I am Todd Fox, and together we are the Fox Den Sports Podcast, and we want to welcome all of our friends, our family, and even our foes to our 94th episode of our Fox Den Sports Podcast. And again, with this being our 94th episode, what player do you think of that wore the jersey number 94?
I'm going to go with the great Jim Wilkes, former defensive end and nose tackle for the New Orleans Saints, played there for 11 years. Round 12, pick 305. But, he played 183 games, started 154, 45.5 sacks. Pretty solid career for a 12th round pick. I wouldn't be mad at it.
Did he go by James or was it Jim?
He went by Jimmy, but,
Okay. I didn't know around his
12th round.
Yeah, you used to have 12 rounds back in the day.
That's an overkill.
It felt weird when I was saying it. I'm not going to lie. I was like, this makes no sense.
I think they cut
What
it
is
down
this,
to
baseball?
Yeah, I think they cut it down to 10 at one point, and then they finally went to.
And what's crazy about baseball, you never hear about the draft.
No.
I was thinking the other day.
It goes on in the middle of the season.
Yeah, it goes on in the middle, in the middle of the day.
Like during All-Star break.
Yeah. Let's have these little, across the bottom of ESPN, and nobody really cares. So, except for the teams, I guess. Garrett, who do you got?
DeMarcus Ware, one of the best defensive ends in Cowboys history. I don't know. Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Yes,
Some of the guys that are skating in there, he should definitely be in.
Yeah, he'll be in.
Got his Super Bowl ring with the Denver Broncos, but I
Yeah,
imagine he will be enshrined as a Dallas Cowboy.
Yeah, he'll be a Cowboy.
Would he be the first 94 in the Hall of Fame?
No.
I imagine Dad will be about to say
no.
someone who's.
I guess I was looking at the list.
I can go ahead and say
usually says the Hall of Famers, and it did not say that today. So I was like,
Charles Haley, number 94. He won a couple Super Bowls with the San Francisco 49ers and won 3 with the Dallas Cowboys. I think he won 3 in a row, 1 with San Francisco and then 2 with Dallas. Dude was incredible pass rusher. I don't want to say he was the difference, but he was a huge difference to that defense, brought him instant respect. And he could just, like you guys know, you put pressure on the quarterback. I mean, his first series with the Dallas Cowboys, I'll never forget, against Washington, former Redskins on a Monday Night Football game. Washington's coming off they were the Super Bowl champions the year before. And he goes back and he nails Mark Rippon, I think twice. I think the second time was a fumble or of some sort or an interception or something like right there. And it could have been a safety. I can't remember, but I know because I know we got a safety in that game. But he was incredible. I know he had some back problems towards the end of his career. That last Super Bowl with Dallas, I mean, Barry Switzer was the head coach. I know he was hurt almost all year long, but he did play in the Super Bowl. But that guy could really rush the quarterback, and he definitely was one of the best Cowboys during that time frame. He helped us get to a different level. I know we got Deion Sanders a few years later too. So what's that?
I think he's got the second most Super Bowl rings.
Yeah,
behind Brady,
behind Tom Brady,
because he was ahead.
Yeah, no, at one point he was leading. So, but no, he was fantastic for sure. Speaking of the Cowboys, man, pretty good pounding they put on Zach Wilson and the Jets on Sunday. It was a good game. At first, for a little while, you're sitting there wondering what the heck's going on because the Jets were hanging around a little bit, but then towards the end, obviously Dallas, they pulled away, like they should have. They won the game 30-10 against the Jets. Obviously, it would have been a completely different game had Aaron Rodgers played, but guess what? He didn't play. So unfortunately for him, good for the Cowboys. I think it gives Cowboys some really good momentum And I know probably some things we'll probably be talking about. But what were your takeaways from that game?
It's weird because I feel like our defense still played great, but not as good as week one, even though I think the Jets' offense is worse than the Giants with Zach Wilson starting.
I think the Giants just got in a hole, and they knew they couldn't get themselves out.
Yeah, another 2 quarters to do anything against Arizona. So
yeah, they didn't score the first 6 quarters of the season.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, which is insane. But no, I mean it looked really good. Parsons obviously still looked great. Diggs got a pick, and then yeah, I mean the only touchdown they had was a slant route that we missed 1 tackle, and then he was gone.
Yeah.
So
that was
Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, was that Malik Hooker from the?
Yeah.
Was he the guy from Atlanta?
No,
he wasn't from Atlanta a couple years ago.
Indianapolis.
Is that where he was from? I thought he was in Atlanta.
Yeah, played at Ohio State.
Okay. No, who are you talking about? Hooker, or are you talking about the receiver?
Oh, both of them played at Ohio State.
I didn't know Hooker played there. Okay, I had no idea. Interesting. They just put a dominant defensive performance again. And granted, Wilson there for a little while, he seemed like he was getting a little bit more comfortable, but he did wind up throwing, I think it was 3 interceptions. They had a fumble. So there were 4 turnovers for sure. They passed for 151 yards, 3 interceptions. He was sacked 3 times. Seemed like he was sacked a lot more than that, but I know he got the ball. I mean, he was under constant pressure, which was fantastic. That's what you want. Micah Parsons is on a different level than a lot of other players in the league, especially on the defensive side. Keep him healthy. This is a great, great defense and great defensive performance again. And I know for the first 2 games, I think, did you see the stat they showed? I can't remember what it was. There's only been 2 other teams. I think one of them was the 2019 Patriots, and then us, and then I can't remember the other one that had this big, as many points as we had scored, and then only given up 10 points in the first 2 games. Do you remember that stat? I can't remember what that was.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, scoring 70 points and only allowing 10.
Yeah, and I can't remember who that other team was, but yeah.
On the fantasy side, outside of quarterbacks, the Dallas Cowboys defense is the 3rd ranked player
for points,
behind Tyreek and then Nuka Puka or something like that from the Rams.
Rams guy.
Puka Nacua, yeah.
No, it's fabulous. Fantastic. Great defensive performance. Kellen, did you get a chance to watch much of it?
A little bit, not a whole lot of that one.
What game did you take a gander at?
Well, I mean, I watched pretty much all of them. I took a little nap during the first half of some of those games on accident. I was sitting there watching it on my phone. Taylor asked me what I was doing, and I went like this, and I was like, wait, just completely missed an entire quarter. So I just put it down, took a little nap, saw that, woke up, first thing I checked, because I technically have money on this game. I had first thing I checked, Giants in Arizona. So I see they're down by 20. And I was like, well, just lost the chance for $500. And
what are you putting money on?
We're doing kind of like that, a little eliminator thing.
Yeah.
We have on ESPN, $20 for the whole season. Whoever wins at work.
Did you lose this week?
No, barely skated. Giants pulled it off at the very end.
Oh man, they were down.
The Giants. Yeah,
wasn't it like 21-0 or 20?
Yeah, 21-0. I guess
something like that. Yeah.
Or I woke up from a nap and I was just like, "Gotta be kidding me!"
No chance.
I watched some Colts. Anthony Richardson's going to be crazy. He's going to go down as.
I just hope he doesn't get hurt. I mean, that's a concern.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
But he's just got to be smarter in week 2. Like
he's just got to be smarter with his runs. They didn't allow a single sack. He's getting hurt. And granted, that one play, like everybody says, like if he slides, it's not a touchdown. It's kind of a late hit, but he'll be all right. He was still able to play, so it's not the worst concussion.
Sure.
Also, too, though, like I don't
smarter with that.
Whenever he gets hit like that, you can't fall on your back. That's your because there's a 90% chance you're going to snap your head like that. Like
he
could easily just slid into it or fell into your shoulder or something. But
for sure.
But no, I don't know. I mean, I watched watched the afternoon games, of course.
Did you watch a little Red Zone, or what did you watch?
Yeah. I mean, half the games don't show up on YouTube TV. So, like last week, I couldn't watch the Colts game. I had to watch it through the Red Zone.
Well, yeah, because I mean, we don't have the ticket.
Yeah, so that's why I just watch Red Zone.
I wrestled with getting it, but it's $300, and I was like, man, I mean, I have a feeling that if I got it, I would still probably watch more Red Zone.
I mean,
anyway, you know,
yeah, I'd watch 90% Red Zone. So
there would be some games here and there that I wouldn't mind watching, but I still think I would kind of veer towards just
Dallas is on one of these channels,
right? Where we live now,
95% of the time,
right? Where we live now, Dallas. Like when we lived in North Carolina, heck yeah, man. I mean,
well, it's not even about where that we're close to Dallas. Dallas just always plays on one of the bigger channels.
Dallas. It's because we live close to Dallas is why Dallas is showing every week here in Oklahoma. Yes, that's exactly the reason why.
Yeah, the channels here show different.
It's completely location, dude. What are you talking about?
So you're telling me that Kellen doesn't get like a Joe Buck on a Sunday because he's calling the Cowboys game?
Huh?
On like 12 o'clock games, it can go anywhere. Now, when you get to prime time,
but that's what I'm saying. Different. The Cowboys always have one of those. Like
Dallas
big time
always will be in Oklahoma because of proximity. Yes, Kellen gets Atlanta Falcons.
We always have like either a Jim Nantz and Tony Romo, Joe Buck, or Troy Aikman, or we're on a night game.
Not Dallas doesn't. No, they don't. No, they don't. No,
all right,
trust me. No, dude. There's no way. I can't believe you didn't know that.
I'm not saying I didn't know that, but I'm saying Dallas Cowboys are on the national channels pretty much every single week.
I mean, it depends on obviously who they're playing. I don't know who they got the Cardinals this week. I don't think they're going to have one of the top guys doing it. It's not going to be Jim Nantz,
yeah,
or of course it won't be those guys. Game. It's not going to be what's the guy's name? Greg Olson and the guy he's with. It's not going to be those guys. And there's no one team in Fox, so it's not going to be. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's who we're on is Fox.
Right. But that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know who's doing the games this weekend. You might be able to look it up, and it may already be. I'm sure it's already out there. But that's hilarious. I didn't know. I thought you always knew that because Kellen. Do you know by chance what AFC team that they show? Because here, it was Cleveland for the longest time because of Baker. I don't know how they got that deal done. But I know it's Kansas City, Houston type of area because it's closer.
And you're asking on AFC side?
Yeah, I know you.
I don't know. I would be willing to bet probably Titans or something.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I really don't know.
But yeah, I know when we were in North Carolina, we got the Carolina Panthers. So that's how that went. And then I paid for, back then we had the DirecTV, so that's what I got. And I got the NFL tickets so I go watch all the Cowboy games. We're in Springfield, Missouri. It's all Kansas City. And then I don't know if you guys remember, heck, there for the longest time was the Rams. In Dallas, we would have to get that's why I got the NFL ticket so I could watch Dallas. That's the whole sole reason why we got it. Because we were living in Iowa, the same thing. It was Chicago Bears. So that's how they do that. It's all regional telecast. And then there's obviously a big telecast for majority of the country for the big not prime time, but the Joe Bucks and Jim Nantz's and guys like that. And then there's always like that smaller people that watch the garbage game. Did you look it up or no?
Says Daryl Johnson and Joe Davis.
Yeah, they're probably second or third, maybe. And the only reason that Dallas, if they are the second, is because it's Dallas. I mean, Dallas gets all the ratings. I know Al Michaels used to say, like, when he did Monday Night Football, that when the schedule came out, they used to not have the schedule come out like it does now, where they go, make a big production of it. He would look and see how many games they had Dallas on because they knew that there was going to be huge ratings for that game. Love them or hate them, they love to show the Cowboys. All right. So game wise, this past weekend, I know again, we had to keep going back and forth on YouTube. red zone. But I mean, look like the Falcons game. I don't know, Kellen. I mean, again, it's in Atlanta. I don't, how much you said people talk mainly about the Braves and the Bulldogs, but
People are excited. I've actually heard some talk.
Well, yeah, I mean, coming out,
Everybody's
they're 2-0. I mean, I think it's going to be between them and the Saints. I still think the Saints are going to win that division, but man, they've looked.
Bucks are still better than them.
I think the Bucks could win.
I don't know, man. I don't think so. I hope. I mean, with Baker, yeah, sure. I hope. I mean,
Here's the thing, though, is
right.
Baker always had a good running game, but now he has good targets. This is the best targets he's had since college, and obviously, I think better than college.
I think,
and if he hypothetically fits their play style really well,
whatever he's doing is working so far.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree.
His stats right now are insane. I'll see if I can find him, but
he's like the top pickup for quarterbacks on waivers because nobody drafted him.
Of course,
this season he's got 500 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks.
Okay.
On 76% completion.
Hey, more power to him, and I hope he keeps it up. I really do. But we'll see how that transpires going on the rest of the year. I know, who do they got this coming up week? Tampa Bay.
They got the Eagles on Monday night, so that'll show us right there.
If he can beat the Eagles, yes, you know what I mean?
If he can beat the Eagles, he could do anything. But
it's in Tampa. Game. It's in Tampa, and here's 2 weeks. Here's the thing about the season. It's only 2 weeks in, right? And it's still kind of hard to really determine a whole lot because without having preseason, a lot of players playing in preseason, these first couple of games are still trying to gel. So it's going to be still, a long ways to go. It's a long season. I know I've heard a lot of folks talk about, Philadelphia, they just don't look the same. And they're saying the offensive coordinator who left, is he the guy who went to the Colts, I think? And he left, and Hurts is just not as good. And man, I mean, he's still trying to get used to a new coordinator, and Hurts is the kind of guy that I think he's going to be really good regardless.
Hurts is good. The play calls, though, were absolutely garbage.
Really?
At least for those first couple drives, it was pass or Jalen Hurts run. They didn't use their running backs, and I'm like, every single time that Jalen would just take off and run, they were ready for it. And I just did not understand the play calls, but they'll be fine. I have faith in Hurts and that whole team.
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree 100%.
They need to fix their play calling for sure.
Fantastic defense, great offensive line. They're going to be fine. They got weapons all over the place. Garrett, were you going to say something?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, good. What?
Well, I was going to say I had one more thing about the Cowboys. I was listening to the thing that Jimmy Johnson was saying. He thinks the reason Cowboys, even though our offense, it's more so our defense that's obviously making a difference, but having McCarthy calling the plays, and he said not just McCarthy, but like having a head coach calling the plays, like their number one goal is win. They don't care about points. They don't care about each individual stats, where they rank in those categories. Like their number one, number is to win
the game. Yeah.
And he knows that he has a top, if not the best defense in the NFL. So all he does is make sure they don't turn the ball over. And so he's playing it pretty safe, but still able to move the ball pretty well because we do have talent. But he knows that as long as he just doesn't put his defense in tough situations, they're going to be fine. And he thinks that's the biggest thing. He said Kellen Moore is great, but you get a lot of these young guys who try to improve themselves, and they only care about those big shots and stuff like that. And
makes sense.
We haven't taken a whole lot of big shots this season. I mean, I know we've tossed some up to CeeDee a couple times, and they've worked.
Let's be honest with Dak. Like that's the best case. Is just
play
your game. Don't try to do too much. Just play your game, and like you said, keep that defense one on the sideline resting up because they're going to come out and light them up. 2, the better position you put them in. Granted, that defense you could put them in the opposite red zone, and they're going to have a good shot at figuring it out. But just play to your strengths, and so far that's what they've been doing.
Yeah, if you can get to the point where you're pinning them at the 15 or something instead of throwing a pick in the middle of the field, like
Oh, you guys
That defense is they're gonna have to pull every trick out of the bag to get down the field.
It's kind of like we talked about OU, like in that same and in the Dallas Cowboys sense. If Dallas's defense did not give up more than 24 points, I like our chances in a lot of those football games. I really do. I think we could probably win 12 or 13 games just off of that.
I think if 20 points or less, I think you guys have two or three games.
Yeah, for sure. And there'll be some things that'll happen. There'll be
it's the NFL.
It's the NFL, right? So it's going to happen. Other than that, was there another game that caught your eye? Anything surprising or anything that caught your eye this past weekend from the NFL games? Other than obviously, Pittsburgh over Cleveland, Chubb. It's unfortunate for him; he'd be out for the year. Did you ever watch that video, Garrett? I didn't watch it.
Yeah, that was
no chance. I'm not watching.
If you watched the beginning of the podcast yesterday, I was about to throw up because I had you right when you started recording. I clicked on it and it still makes me sick to my stomach.
I may watch it someday, but it's too early because I feel so sorry for the guy.
Did you realize running back. The last 4 Monday Night Footballs? Yeah. Kyler Murray tore his ACL. Damar Hamlin literally like his
almost
heart
died.
Stopped beating on the field.
Yeah.
Rodgers and now Chubb. It sucks because
it's terrible, man.
It's been rough to watch.
It's terrible, and I feel sorry for him because that's the same knee he hurt in college while he's at Georgia.
He's 27 right now.
Yeah, he could be.
So his only shot is the fact that this happened in week 2. So have all season, all off season, and maybe. And that's the thing. We don't know what it is yet. We still have no idea.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, but it's got there's so many. Some people were telling me there's so many ligaments right there. The way that it went, there's going to be stuff messed up. But
and dislocated too.
Yeah,
that's what
which
is another thing.
It's obviously dislocated, but the way that it went probably tore some things. But it's just crazy because I was scrolling through Twitter and every single tweet was just talking about how this Chubb is just insane. He's doing things nobody else can do, hitting these lanes. And
over 6 yards a carry last night.
Then you get to one tweet and it's like Chubb is down. And it's just I feel so bad for him. Because
really unfortunate.
So that's probably he's a super nice guy too. There's nothing bad out about him.
No.
And it's bad when the freaking networks aren't showing the replay because they love showing replays.
Yeah. No. And
that's the thing. They never showed even one. Is what I heard.
I think they were about to. Who was announcing that game?
Joe Buck.
That's what I was
Troy,
thinking.
Yeah.
Because it was Troy was he's like, never mind, we're not going to show that.
I don't blame it, man. I think it's great.
They shouldn't. And I wish it wasn't all over Twitter everywhere.
And they know that if people want to see it, they'll find it. But for the people who don't want to see it, they don't want to see that.
No, they don't. You don't want to sit there and
that makes them want to turn the game off.
And it's not something that should just be plastered everywhere. That's a man's not his life, but I mean his life could be altered by it.
His livelihood,
his livelihood, his life, his job,
and you don't want it to happen. You don't want it to happen to anybody, but my goodness, Nick Chubb, come on. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. I love Nick Chubb.
Yeah, and for sure, good old Chubbs. I know. San Francisco looked dominant again. I know Rams put some points on the board, but that was a decent game. I was honestly a little bit shocked about Detroit getting beat by Seattle at Detroit. That was shocking.
Yeah, they kept it. They had the lead towards the end, and I mean it went into overtime, which everyone saw the holding that they missed on Aiden Hutchinson.
Oh yeah, that was bad.
Everybody's missing holdings on him, which is very odd. Last week in Kansas City and then this week. But that would have sent them to the 15-yard line on second down.
Well, yeah, and you remember the first half that they had him stop. And remember, and they had the 15-yard, or not 15 yards near the goal line, but the personal foul. They gave him another first down. I think they didn't
2 to 3 times, pretty much.
It still took him another 3 times, and they finally wore him down. But just little bonehead plays like that, it's unfortunate. I know. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say I predicted it, but I kind of saw it coming only because I told people from work who were trying to put their bets on this game. I said, Seattle reminds me of Detroit. Like, they're winning games they shouldn't win. They had this weird fire last year. They were winning all these games. Nobody thought they were good. And
Right.
Detroit, I think, actually is good.
Yes.
But, like, Seattle comes out there and they just play hard, and they end up winning games. And I felt like it was going to be an even matchup just because of that. I think Detroit has the better team, but I was definitely not going to place bets on that game.
All right, so I know I was 2-0 last week when we did our lock of the week and we did our upset of the week. Somehow, some way, I don't know how I was, but I was 2-0. I know I picked Pittsburgh upset Cleveland, even though it was in Pittsburgh. Cleveland was favored. You guys were, Garrett, were you 0-2, and Kellen, you were 1-1 or 2-0? Or do you remember?
No, I was 2-0.
Okay,
Gary was 1-1.
Garrett was 1-1.
I won 1.
So does that means Gary gets to go first?
Garrett,
who's last place?
Yeah, which one do you want to go through first? Do you want to go? Let's all go through the lock, or which one do you want to go?
Yeah, let's go our locks, and I'm gonna go with the easy choice of the Dallas Cowboys over the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
I don't know about that. And Daddy, you can go next because I won first place last year, so that'll be the tiebreaker.
Thanks. I'm taking San Francisco over the Giants. That's kind of a hard one too.
Yeah, I can't wait for the Giants to smoke the rain.
What we need to do though is like we can't. So I don't know how we would keep up with it. Like we can't pick the same team more than. You don't want to do it like that?
Yeah, let's do it. It's just like Eliminator. It's just like the work.
Heck no, I'm not using Dallas. Yeah, no.
All right,
yeah.
Whatever.
We'll get back to that.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't want to do it. I'm just going to go Kansas City.
Oh, the Bears. Oh,
Right.
dude, that's like, yeah.
I know it, but I hate picking Kansas City. I know they're going to win. It's an easy pick. I already accidentally put a check mark, meaning, I got a point this week.
That's hilarious. All right, so upset of the week. Garrett, what do you have for your upset?
My upset, I am going to do, it's a bold one, the Washington Commanders over the Buffalo Bills.
Really? Okay.
I mean, if the Bills
that
are going to
defensive
lose,
line is going to dominate
now.
Buffalo's, and Josh Allen's going to get under pressure and throw another 3 interceptions.
Okay. I'm going to go next, I guess. I'm going to take the Rams on Monday night over Cincinnati. Cincinnati's going to go in 3.
When was this updated? Because how would Tennessee be an update for upset for Cleveland?
Cleveland's favored.
That's what I'm saying. Cleveland should not still be favored.
Why? They're still going to be. I mean, they're still not bad. They got a really good defense, and it's at home. Game, like when you see that, like a 3-point, like that is. It's mainly the home.
I guess, but I just say without Chubb. But
I
guess I'll go Tennessee. Yeah, I would like to say, if I knew for sure he was playing, I'd go all in on the Colts. But
I thought you were talking about Chubb. I'm like,
no.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
No, but I just don't know about Anthony Richardson yet. So if he was playing, I'd probably do that game just to mess around. But without him, I mean, Gardner Minshew looked fine, but
he's no
Anthony
Richardson.
Richardson's probably going to be in my top 3 next year. So
tell me some stock down. Who's a team or player list of players are whose stock is going down right now? And don't say Chubb's because he's obviously out.
I'm not going to say Browns, but I'll say Deshaun Watson because with or without Chubb, he played poorly. He was not doing good. What, 2 fumbles and an interception?
Yeah.
Like, was it a pick 6 and a fumble for a touchdown?
Yeah.
Like, he looked mad at his team. He looked mad at the refs. He looked like he wanted to blame everybody else but himself. And so I'm gonna go him. Even though Lance and Gannon, they said he was going to be an MVP candidate by the end of the year. And they said he'd have a rocky start. I don't think they meant like this, though. So I think I'd say his stock's down.
I'll tell you what's crazy. I had Pittsburgh's defense and I had Pickens last night. I was going up against Gerber in the keeper league. Poor guy had Chubb. And I had Pittsburgh's defense who I mean, they rolled and I won that game.
Were you supposed to lose going in?
Yeah, I was like, what? I mean, there was no shot and no chance. And poor Chubbs, and then Kellen destroyed me in that the other league we play in. I don't know which one that was. We're in so many.
I lost Chubb in that one too.
Yeah, for sure.
My downfall or whatever, Justin Herbert.
Yeah,
that's disappointing.
Stats again. You can look at the stats; look great. That dude cannot complete a pass in the red zone. Cannot, and he can't even keep it in the field. He's always just throwing it away. Can't make a play. So
I've got a couple guys.
I can't remember who they compared him to. I saw, but he's always going to put the stats. But that guy will never win anything.
Phillip Rivers.
No, not even
literally
Rivers, because he's putting up better numbers than Rivers. But he's not
still
even
the same
wins.
story.
Yeah, same story.
So
it's unfortunate.
Kids away from being Phillip Rivers.
I truly I don't have anything against the coach, but he doesn't need to be the head coach. The problem with the Chargers is they will not pay a head coach. Here's what's going to happen. The guy's going to get canned at some point this year, and then Kellen Moore is going to take over. I don't think he's going to be any better. Go out and pay somebody. I don't know the answer to that, but they should have. They said it was they interviewed Brian Daboll and this guy. I can't even remember his daggum name at the top of my head with the Chargers. So what's his name? Do you remember? The head coach?
Staley,
yeah. Brandon Staley. And they picked Staley because he's cheaper.
If they get Daboll, that team is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. Dude, because Daboll, now they obviously didn't do anything against Dallas, and they were looking real bad in the first half.
But look what he did. Look at Josh Allen with and without him. Look at Daniel Jones with and without him.
Right. Totally agree. I got two guys who I think stock's down, and I think I may have talked about one of them last week, but I'm going to say he even went further down, in my opinion, is Josh Fields. What in the heck? Or Justin Fields. I keep saying Josh because Josh played for the Oklahoma State Cowboys, played in the major, played for Chicago White Sox.
Anyways.
Justin Fields. Let him do what he does best, man. And let him run if that's what it takes. I don't like it, but he's not going to make it as an NFL quarterback, and they're going to find themselves picking in the top 5. They're going to have 2 picks, but they're going to have Carolina. So they're going to have probably 2 top 10, maybe 2 top 5 picks. They're going to get one of these quarterbacks, and he'll be out of the Bears organization, probably be a backup somewhere. And the other one, I hate to say it, Kenny Pickett. Man, what is going on?
Was his stock ever up?
Well, I mean, I thought he had a chance. I mean, he could still turn some stuff around, but I truly think there again is their offensive coordinator, Matt Canada. I don't think he's been there for several years. Dude, stop. Get somebody else. They need to run the ball more. They're the kind of like Kenny. I mean, they're kind of like Dallas. They need to run the ball to set the pass up and not try to have him pass all the time. But they have never really addressed their offensive line in the last several years. They're in bad shape. Even though they won last night, but they won because of their defense. What about stock up? Who do you have for stock up right now?
I'll go with Sam Howell, quarterback, Washington Commanders throughout the season. 500 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, beating a really good Denver defense and Russell Wilson, and an Arizona team who is better than everyone thought. So he's looked really good. I think he's making it hard for them to think they'll have a chance at any of these quarterbacks. I think he keeps up this play, and not even just this good, but you're going to see them go a different direction in the first round of the draft this year. Because I, for one, wasn't as down on him as everyone said. I know our rankings, 90% of us had him at 32. I had him at like 25 or something, which is still not very high, but that's because we haven't seen him play, and he's been there for a year. So, no, he's good. I mean, like I said, in that quarterback rankings, he was going to be a number 1 pick if he didn't play poorly in his senior year of North Carolina, which he did. But
and then am I next or you?
Well, it doesn't matter either way. It doesn't
go for it.
I mean, I'll say a couple of them. Dolphins.
Yeah.
Like I told everybody before the season, if Tua's healthy, he's going to look like a great quarterback because of his receivers and because of his coach. He's playing well. they look insane. A lot of people are saying if the Super Bowl happened today, it'd be Dolphins and Dallas, but
That'd be great.
Yeah. So like I'd say them, and I don't even remember who I said last week, but I'm gonna go Colts. Anthony Richardson looks a lot better, a lot quicker than we expected. I'm not saying he's the greatest yet, but
No,
like
of course not.
he's got a very high ceiling, and I'm really excited for the future
yes.
with him.
I agree 100%. It would be stock up right now is Atlanta. I know they only beat Carolina, but they beat Green Bay, but Green Bay had that game. I don't know. And
Green Bay looks good.
Yeah,
they don't look bad.
They don't look bad right now. But I think Atlanta has really looked better. I think their defense is better. Ritter's still not I don't think he's the future, but I mean he's a stopgap quarterback for them currently at this moment. So I mean, good for him. So and then I mean another one really at this point would be Matt Stafford's look pretty good. I know better than what I thought. His stock's a little bit up versus where obviously
his stock's trending up for sure.
Yeah, it's trending up. And I mean, Baker Mayfield, dadgum. I mean, his, like you said a minute ago, his stock's up too. So that'll be very interesting to see this next week of NFL. I can't believe it's already been 2 weeks. I think around, I don't know, what do you think? Week 3, week 4, things start kind of like settling down maybe a little bit to where you have an idea on who is going to be.
Yeah, so far it's been a weird season.
Sure, for sure. So that'll be very interesting. I can't wait. Well, we want to appreciate everyone for listening to our Foxed In Sports podcast. Obviously, we know you've got a lot going on. You got a lot of things to choose from, and you chose us. And we will we'll be here again next week for you. But I always want to remind you that iron sharpens iron.
Please stay safe.
Be savage and not average.
And remember to join the skulk. And until next time,
goodbye, everybody.
Boomer.